International, only one of these teams will make it to the Mexico Major, and we're about to find out.
We certainly are. There is no more ifs and buts. It's just who wins this map, they get to go. It's pretty incredible that of the entire playoff bracket, this is the one that we get to see go to the third map. Pretty exciting stuff. The opening ban from Elevate, they're going to get rid of that line. We've seen it utilized pretty effectively by Invictus. They don't want any bar of it.
Yeah, Invictus just hard stuck that line for about half the rounds on Oregon. And Elevate want to have that freedom of movement. Invictus will reply with the Thatcher ban. Mav is in. I don't think Elevate are going to be too unhappy about that one. Of course, things are difficult without the Thatcher, but Elevate seem to not mind at all. Surely this is the one my ban though from Invictus. They just always go for it. There you go.
That they do. Thatcher will my pretty solid bans. Well, mine in particular, it does affect things like trying to hold Pixel on the top floor. If you only got ADSs to protect you, it's a lot simpler for the defense attack, to be able to clear out and then, of course, clear out the Pixel position afterwards. So I like that. And then Mirror, also really big ban, just in general, but is an operator that we see Invictus use quite a lot, and particularly on Cafe, quite strong, and something that Invictus no doubt would have been utilizing on these defenses.
Here we are, Bar Cocktail, first up on the chopping block. And as you guys can see, Onigiri, he might have crashed in the final round of that previous map. But it's not like ranked. He still gets his elo. He still gets the map win in the column. And we do have AngryX still filling in for BG, man. So, look, despite Onigiri getting back on the horse, still not full strength Elevate right now. But this is an Elevate that is pretty determined. They are ready to rumble because after losing to Damwon here earlier tonight, after losing the opening map of the series to Invictus, coming back on Oregon, we could see that fire behind their eyes. AngryX himself stepped up, even though we were roasting Napew, he stepped up as well. So Elevate are ready to play here on Cafe, and that critical stat Raven is what we mentioned in the opening match of this tournament, of the APAC playoffs. Elevate took down Invictus 7-5 in a best-of-1 on Cafe. And here we are, back again for a rematch.
Pretty incredible stuff. It has really come full circle, but this is just such a big opportunity for both of these teams. I'm just, I can't wait to find out the result, but the journey is going to be one hell of a journey. In classic Elevate style too, I saw about 3 of them at windows just there. And Onigiri has found a pick. It has at least been answered by Hysterics, but just like that, they've lost the Habana player.
Just give this man an Ethernet cable and he can do wonders. I mean, as long as he's not being nerfed by his own internet, he'll find a spawn peak. Unfortunately for IG, they have the trade. Oh, Luna might have an opportunity here. Oh, very, very risky. He backs on out.
I think what is a great sign so far is it seems like Elevate have certainly still got their confidence about them. They have not changed a thing. That was just the opening minute here is Elevate through and through, and you do love to see it. IG, though, they do know what to expect at the same time. Now it looks like they're just going to do the stock standard, try and take this piano control. In fact, it's pretty free right now. No one really hard holding it. Of course, they are going to have to be just cautious of the vertical control, but at least from what I can tell from the outlines, no one at least as an immediate threat.
Good usage of the Flores here, starting to clear out some of this util, some of the bars as well, just really rummaging up those positions. IG, numbers are quality, but they're starting to move on in, and with this Nomad banned, rather Nomad not banned, as Elevate usually would do, it does leave it on the table here for IG. Makes those flanks all kinds of difficult for Elevate. And while we did kind of harp on the fact that this would be a good map for Elevate because they already beat Invictus on it, like, let's not forget, this is where Invictus 7-1 Q-confirm when QC were at the height of their power in APAC South. This is also where Invictus beat TSM at the 6 Invitational 7-5.
It's a really great point. But we do know that there are some vulnerabilities for Invictus on this map, and if any team knows that well, it is certainly Elevate. The Napier is still looming below. A missed C4 though does mean that IG are going to know of his position. Now they are pushed up quite aggressive here in Cigar. 40 seconds to go. They look pretty poised to get ready for this execute. It is Hysterics in fact with the diffuser in hand, and in he goes to Bar.
Yeah, excellent nade there, takes down that shield. Angry X covering off Luna at Cocktail. There was a flank as well, I believe, from Napier, but he may well have backed off, and he has rotated back up White. Here comes the execute. Hysterics finds the opener, and Angry X goes down. 4v3 now, man advantage IG, as Hysterics starts to get this down. Sapper may well be able to deny! What a pre-fire through the bar, and he makes it work. It's now a 1 versus 2. He's got the injure on Luna. 1v1. Joe trades it. And if that is not an expectation of what we will see this map, then I don't know what is.
Totally agree. That was definitely this entire series personified in the way that that round ended. Incredible stuff. Invictus are the ones, though, that come out on top in this instance. Back to Bar Cocktail we go, though. Elevate know that they can probably do that better. See how they adapt this time around, but honestly, good round from both teams. You know, Invictus did a great job just being thorough, eventually getting that piano and Cigar control. They didn't overextend too early. Of course, they also had to recover from losing Jordan in the opening 15 seconds. They did a really great job to get themselves into that position.
Difficult with that hard breach, isn't it? You know, they had to adapt for how they're going to clear out these key positions like Freezer. And we noticed that did make their execute a little bit more difficult. Really strong entries though, and that's what Elevate are going to be looking to prevent this time around. Looks like on the whole, similar operator lineup, but a couple of distinctions. The main one for Elevate is Onigiri off the Mozzie on the Legion.
Yeah, maybe he decided the T5 is just a bit better to spawn peek with Dev. I don't know. But no, I think it's a good call. I mean, the goo mines are certainly going to be really great for intel. They can help facilitate a lot of things. Even C4s, for example, if you're able to get the sound propagation through, you could even play a sound cue as opposed to a visual cue to be able to hit those. I don't know, we'll wait and see how exactly they utilize it. At the moment, Napier going for a bit of a run just to cause havoc on the vertical position over in Train, probably once again.
Something we didn't see from Elevate last round, but we could have, was vertical C4s to deny that plant. We had Napier downstairs in the middle floor earlier in that round, but ooh, he's completely taken out. An aggressive jump out, Speakeasy punishes. Bits are ambitious there, jumping out the fireplace window.
Just such an Elevate thing to do, I tell you what. But it's good to see, you know, it's really great to see that they are 100% confident still in their style of Siege. Did have the info. They are very much aware of where these players are all set up at the moment, which is really great. Maybe looking to capitalize on this player. Still hanging out outside on the south.
Oh!
DCH. Oh, he just misses the headshot. That could have been huge.
That was nuts, bro. Like, how did he see anything? That pre-fire. Good info here from these Black Eyes, so even though Napier's dead, he can sit those cams. IG turning their attention now to Piano, a little bit more heavy hold from Elevate this time around. But IG slow and steady, and Hysterics is in a strong position to start really putting that pressure onto that pixel position.
Oh, he actually hit that! Oh my lord! Onigiri just unfortunate on the rotate back. Beautiful placement from Hysterics. 5 versus 3 now for IG there, in a much better position than they were in round 1. This is going to be a tougher one for Elevate to be able to try and stave off the aggression of this push from IG.
Even denying the plan here would not be enough. Elevate's options are fairly limited, and with a lot of time left, it's really on Invictus to start setting up for an execute. What's the play here? Jordan going to make a breach on the main wall to side, perhaps? Indeed, there you go. So into Freezer, cutting off that line of sight. But a little bit of aggression elsewhere from Elevate. Just the number of players alive for IG is the concerning thing for Elevate here.
They're also pushed back as well, so they're going to have to really just try and delay and somehow get a couple of big picks. DCH opens up the first one. Dev, less than 20 seconds to go here. DCH is outside. IG are going for this execute.
Oh, but it's working. Only problem for Elevate is that that plant has gone down. Good position from Angry X, and he's going to get hungry for more. But IG are in such a strong position to cover this diffuser. They just need to get to the roof, and this should be theirs. There it is from Speakeasy. Perfect. Joe's just biding time. Speakeasy can also cover with a drone from the Flores. Straight onto that diffuser. 2 players left for Elevate, but they got a 2v1 Speakeasy. Now, Raven, there is a chance. DCH has to cover. Speakeasy's got to make sure that this counts. DCH is not watching, but it doesn't matter. They stick it, and Elevate makes that retake.
If every round this is going to end like this, I'm not sure I'm going to have hair left at the end of this map. This is absolutely crazy. 2 just absolute nail-biting rounds to kick us off on Cafe. Incredible stuff from both these teams. Oh my lord, this is just unbelievable.
It totally is. Like, what was that? IG had a 5v3 advantage. So much time left to work with. By the time they go for that execute, Elevate have found just as many picks back. Plant goes down, Elevate retake anyway. This is just non-stop action here. But with Elevate finding their first defense, they do go down to kitchen cooking. Invictus should be fairly happy here that they've kept all of these rounds close, but the same can be said for Elevate.
Absolutely. I think in particular, IG should probably be feeling a bit better about their positioning in this match right now, just because, you know, the classic, oh, Cafe traditionally is defender-sided. I believe that's still true. Let me just quickly flip up some map stats. Hey, look, we actually don't get a lot of Cafe in APAC South. In fact, in APAC South, it is attacker-sided, so maybe I stand corrected here, but...
The thing is that I'm pretty sure it includes the results from Invictus 7-1ing Q-Confirm, so it kind of skews it.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
What I can tell you, though, is I actually have the match that these two teams played against each other 2 nights ago, on my birthday, and Invictus won 4 out of 6 defenses. Sorry, Invictus won 3 out of 3 defenses, and Elevate won 4 out of 6. Sorry. Invictus won half, 3 out of 6. Elevate won 4 out of 6.
Okay, cool.
My god.
Thanks for clearing that up, Dev.
Thanks, mate.
That's okay. Yeah, no. Lost my train of thought already. Napier trying to get a very aggressive C4. Unfortunately, that is going to be a bit of a waste. He's going to run away. Again, though, can't fault Elevate. This is very much their playstyle. They try and get these early picks. In particular, on a map like Cafe, Consulate's another banger that they love to do their spawn peaks and early aggression on. Hasn't netted anything in the last 2 rounds. I think, if anything, IG will just be happy to have survived the opening minute without having to fight with that man disadvantage.
I'm guessing that was pested. I hope so. Otherwise, that was just shooting a teammate's drone. Nice pre-nade here. Oh, that's the down. Not sure if they're aware. Doesn't seem to be. If he knew for sure, he would just pre-cook and send another one in there. Looks like they're actually going to try and get a res. Player rotated in through reception. Ballsy play here, but Elevate do manage to keep Angry X alive.
I think that was a C4 just then from DCH as well, missing the mark. The C4s just haven't been hitting anything to Elevate in these 3 rounds of defense. Something that they probably need to try and work on, because it's such a valuable resource, especially defending kitchen cooking. I want to be able to deny those vertical plays as much as possible. Now we're down into the last minute. IG have done a great job getting the full map control. They're going to work on opening hatch and just again poking from the verticals with hysterics on the sledge. This is where it starts to get a bit tough for Elevate, but as you can see, they are all very spread out here.
Opening pick, though, for Hysterics. Funny fact is that the opening pick this game has not once converted to a round win. That said, another 5v3 for Invictus, now a 5v2. Angry X low from being injured earlier in the round, and now take it out. My god, Raven out of nowhere, a flawless round for IG.
What is this game? 2 absolute nail-biter rounds and then a flawless. It's like the absolute extremes possible, but Invictus, they turned that one to the extreme. It was a really clinical clear top-down from them, and Elevate just never really had a chance to contest. Just so many missed opportunities. I can't help but think about all these missed C4s, trying to do these risky early plays. I think Elevate certainly can tighten up this kitchen cooking defense, so not too adverse to them going for the repeat.
Ooh, I like this actually. More info. So not only do we have the Mozzie gone and a Pulse in place, but also that Frost 6-picked onto that Valk. Lots of info here, potentially for some vertical C4s, Raven. I feel like the play here for Elevate is just to heavy contest Hysterics on that sledge through that vert. We've got, what, 4 C4s all up, and a heck of a lot of info to enable them.
Very true. Hopefully they can actually make something of it this time around. I really like Napier on the Pulse. Just getting all that extra intel, the live intel in particular, I think is really critical, especially for kitchen cooking. And it's something that they were doing quite effectively on Oregon. So I think it's a good call. Again, in classic form, he's got the shoddy. So keen to see the impact this could have.
I'm always terrified when you see a good auto shoddy player with a shotgun, whether it's Ella FO12, whether it's the Pulse shoddy. You just, those players are cracked, and Napier is one of those players. I remember a match from APAC North 2020 where Napier just went absolutely ridiculous. I think he jumped out the hookah window on Coastline 3 times in the same round. He's looking to jump out this window as well. It's already prepped. He's just waiting, biding his time. Surely he goes for it now. Luna, oh no, he doesn't. That's very uncharacteristic.
Good sign though, I guess. You know, they've probably identified that maybe just these early plays aren't worth it anymore. Just need to kind of hold on a bit. Again, I really like the extra info that they are gathering from this Pulse. And there is a hit C4. They've answered the prayers, Dev, on Agiri. He strikes on the Hysterics, and that is a massive pick because the sledge, of course, is so critical for this. The vertical play that you get, the line of sight, even just trying to shoot with the L8 is just a dream through some of those rafters. So that is a great start to the round here for Elevate.
And that's everything going according to plan, right? You know, Elevate clearly brought the crazy number of C4s and the crazy amount of info gathering to deliberately enable this. You can look at where these black guys are. Like, they're all in train and around mining. Like, it's just specifically to counter this vert. Really, really beautiful setup from Elevate, and the execution is there to boot.
Great stuff, finding an extra pick as well. So finally, Elevate, they've got themselves in a pretty decent man advantage. Again, just look at this live intel. It is working out so well for Elevate. They do still have 2 C4s in the pocket. And Angry X has just put another kill in the pocket. So this is looking solid.
Yeah, and I believe that must have been a C4 or a breaching charge to take Jordan down very, very low. Joe, the only full HP player now for IG, and they've got so much info. They just have so much info. And that C4 shouldn't hit. Not going to do enough damage through that soft wall. But Elevator just set up so well now, Raven. Like, 45 seconds, what can IG do?
Yeah, still got a bit of time. They're trying to do, looks like a pretty split push here, and I'm seeing yellow pings everywhere. Elevator just absolutely smashing the intel game right now. Big engagement coming out here for Joe on White Stairs. Doesn't quite actually fully engage. Actually all on his shoulders, and he can't get anywhere. Now it's another flawless round, Dev. What is this match?
2 incredibly close, clutch rounds, and then 2 flawless rounds. Welcome to Invictus versus Elevate, the OG Southeast Asian rivalry for the last spot for APAC at the 6 Major Mexico. These teams are certainly neck and neck. There's no doubting that.
Very true. Back to bar cocktail we go. See what this one has in store for us this time around. Wait and see whether we also get the cheeky spawn peaks again. They're going to 6th pick onto the Valkyrie. really like that they kept that hidden because it hasn't triggered IG to think about 6th picking to the IQ. Potentially not even aware of how much info Elevate got on them last time this was defended in round 2. So yeah, really smart play here from Elevate.
I'm 100% with you on that. There's no doubt that Elevate's info gathering was one of the key things that enabled that flawless round just gone and been and gone. And Invictus, like, you have no idea. Like, if you're not getting red pings, you know, if you're getting pulls through walls, how on earth are you going to know that that's how they're making all these amazing plays? Like, you might just think, oh, he just swung me. You know, he just swung me. Like, what was that? But no, they had the info. You know, they made it work. Elevate have also changed one of their other operators, right? So Onigiri previously was playing the Legion, Napier was on the Valk, and now Napier is on the Mute. So this is something that was missing previously. Not only can it mute up the drones, but also some of these walls that Jordan will be trying to hard breach. Overall, just slowing down Invictus. I think that's really good because we've seen, right? Like when it comes down to late executes, if Invictus bleed a little bit of time during the early and mid round, then Elevate do tend to thrive at retaking.
They do. Oh, C4 hitting Jordan.
Oh my
Napier
God!
hitting hysterics out of the park here. They cannot get to the roof safely in classic Elevate style. This is just getting tough for IG. Onigiri is ready to jump out as well. Just incredible stuff here. This match is pretty insane. Now IG just have to tighten up and just really be careful they don't bleed another pick because it is really going to be tough to bring it back. And on top of that, they really need to start to, I guess, think about more counters to this Intel game because Elevate are smashing them in that department.
There's no doubt whatsoever. Onigiri is keen to throw out a black eye. He might well see Luna as well, all the way on the other side. If he looks far enough. No, Luna's rappelled up to the roof now. Still, that's a lot of good info, right? Luna likes to rappel on that single window of Cocktail balcony, like in the late round. If Elevate know that, and they know that there's no one covering and there's no air jabs, like they can just jump out. Elevate are really in the driver's seat right now.
Yep, first 90 seconds, IG really only just starting their actual progress within the building. I think that says a lot about the way that Elevate has started the round. Flores is going to go to work with these Roteros to start to clear things like these Banshees. Did see one get taken out in shop as well. So just slow progress, but there it is. You see Invictus, they've taken control in Cigar. They've just still got a minute to piece this together.
Out come those Flores drones. Look at this. Another opportunity for a vertical C4. Oh, no. What? Okay. Good arm there, Onigiri. He's actually going to try and get it back. That was remarkably efficient from Onigiri. Oh, no. He can't pick it up. Oh, bit of a shame there. Oh, well. His teammates are still on the ball. 5v4. Surely this is a run out, though. They have info on Luna. Yep. Doesn't matter. There's an air jab there. They have all the info they need from that early Valk camp. And now, Invictus, 3v5. Raven, this is not looking good for them.
Oh, no. Bit of a trade happening there. 2 versus 4, 20 seconds. He's gone deep inside. Not sure if this has been spotted. He gets Angry X. This could be the opening they need.
Oh my God! What an attempt there from Speakeasy. Jordan, he's made it to one-on-one. DCH, no C4. Planting behind the bar. DCH knows it. He can't bait out Jordan. He does! Jordan gets off! And he wins it anyway! What is this game?
So the conclusion I have is if it's bar cocktail, it has to be a plant 1v1, and if it's kitchen cooking, it has to be a flawless round.
What on earth was that?
Unreal.
Yeah.
Look, just great stuff from IG. They were really not looking like they were going to be victors in that round. Felt like Elevate were in the box seat yet again. But Jordan with a beautiful 1v4. Incredible stuff here. I think surely this is a 3-3 half. They're going back to bar cocktail again. 3-3 half would really give it justice.
It really would. That said, every bar cocktail round has been traded back and forth, right? If that pattern continues, this should be an Elevate round win.
Should be. We'll wait and see.
Can you take anything for granted at this point? I don't know, man. Like, I got my hands thrown up in the air.
Totally. That was literally my reaction at the end of the round. But once again, look, Elevate, they haven't changed much with their lineup this time around. I think they've found their winning formula with these defenses, and that was just that, the intel gathering game. Yet again, there's no IQ or anything on IG to counter, and these outside cameras have just been huge for Elevate. Even the inside cameras, there was just a simple one above the cigar shop doorway facing bar. I believe that's where they got a lot of that execute info from. I could hear yellow pings galore. So yeah, the info game working out so well for Elevate in these defense rounds.
We still haven't seen a vertical C4 actually land on this bomb site. Onigiri got close, and then, you know, whatever happened, we won't speak about that too much, but, you know, I would hope that Elevate can make that work this time, and I think that could be a real significant contributing factor to them going up 3-3 in the half.
And here we are again. Napier's trying to land the C4 at this hatch. Anticipating. Oh, it's going to go the wrong direction. No, not going to land.
Solid
Bit of
effort.
a waste, but yeah, look, just again, classic Elevate. They're always going to stick to their playstyle. Do love to see it. One thing I think we would need to see from IG is just a quicker take of piano here.
Yeah, look, and despite the aggression from Elevate, it's tamer than last round when they had both a C4 outside and someone running out outside as well. So
Yep.
Invictus thankfully start this round in a 5-on-5. Hysterics gets to play for once. It's been the opening death twice in a row now.
Yeah, I think he'll be thankful that he survived the past 90 seconds. That's very important for IG because, of course, Hysterics, very big impact player, and also the Sledge is such a helpful operator, nades, the hammer, you name it, and the L8, bit of a gun. So this is looking a lot better for IG here. First minute and a half, they've actually gotten this map control. They're really getting in and putting pressure back onto Elevate. But conversely, you know, Elevate aren't overextending and just giving up any easy picks right now, which is always going to be dangerous as we get later into the round.
A lot of C4s still for Elevate, despite Napier tossing his out early. Good piano control. This was the deciding factor that you highlighted for IG. Now Joe is able to push on forward. We also have Jordan breaching into Freezer. Sapper thankfully has a shield to hide behind, but for how much longer?
How much longer indeed? How much longer before we start to see IG really pounce in this one? You can see the impact these Rotero drones are having, clearing out so much intel, utility, all kinds of things. IG pretty well set up to execute. Still 5v5 full HP, Dev, and we're in the last 30 seconds.
Onigiri is right on the verge of making something happen here against Hysterics, and he does. Opening is for Napier as Luna goes down. 15 seconds to go. A 3v5 for IG as they start to force this plan. Joe is so low! Oh my god, he's just gone! Deleted from the server! And Speakeasy can't hold on that C4. Will lock it in. Elevate can tie the half. 3 rounds each.
Incredible half from both teams. Really incredible round from Elevate. I'm almost disappointed that that broke the trend. You know, felt like it should have been the 1v1 kind of clutch situation. But either way, that 3-3 is just a massive justification for the half we just experienced, Dev. Unreal.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it was certainly an eventful half. I'll give him that. And I think Elevate, honestly, if I'm going to give an award to like try and split hairs and say who played that half better, I'm going to give it to Elevate. That said, I don't know if they played well enough, Raven. Like, if I look back at the last time these teams played Cafe, which was just 2 nights ago, it started with Invictus on defense. They went 3-3 on the half. Elevate switched to defense, and they won 4 rounds out of 6. Ended with the 7-5 scoreline as a result. Elevate won. Elevate haven't managed to maintain that 4-2 that they did last time these teams versed, which means that they're not as dominant as they were last time. I think, Raven, we're likely heading towards overtime, or even if Invictus are really on top of their game, they could close this out 4-2.
It's definitely a good point. You know, when you do have these 3-3 halves, especially on a map like Cafe, it's a bit of a scary situation like that. I am casting my mind back to that game from a couple of nights ago that you just mentioned. There were a few rounds that were pretty crazy though that Invictus kind of won out of nowhere. In particular, there's this 1v4 speakeasy clutch that I remember that was just absolutely insane. Like, by no rights should he have ever been able to get that. Of course, insane skill, he did get it, but you know, if you think about it broadly, that could have easily been an Elevate round in that regard, and the scoreline could have been very different. So, I don't know, it's tricky to read into. Based on the form that we've seen from Elevate in this series so far, I feel like they're really back in touch with this. They certainly have a shot to close this out in attack.
They got to start getting to work. Invictus have shown us these Castle Aruni strats before in Piano, these extended holds, so this shouldn't be unfamiliar to Elevate. That said, no doubt they're still, despite that, inexperienced with clearing it. It takes a lot of practice to learn how to attack a very interesting strat like this. You know, that said, we did see two solid defenses of this setup from Invictus the other night. If Elevate was only able to win one. That said, you know, one of those defense wins was that clutch you just mentioned, the Speakeasy 1-on-4. So I guess overall, Elevate actually have a pretty good track record attacking Invictus's bar at defense.
This is pretty big too, you know, 2 smoke babes. In fact, that's 3. Yeah, Joe's going to use all 3, and now he's just dead. So I don't know whether that was really that effective in the end. Really good job from Elevate to shut that out and even come away with an opening pick.
And that was previously, I think, Jordan, but the player in Cigar Shop for Invictus that was always just instrumental in their defenses of this bomb site when these teams played each other on Monday. So for Elevate to have this without losing anything for it is so good. Hysterics, though, does take down Sapper downstairs, down to about 2 HP. Now, DCH might be able to go hunting, but at this point, I say why? Like, just, you know he's down here somewhere. Leave a drone for Sapper to watch and go focus sight.
Yeah, also Sapper will know that he just sunk bullets into Hysterics. You know, it's an easy kill at some point later in the round. Leave him alive. This stage, really good attack from Elevate. What a peek from Onigiri. He just absolutely annihilates Speakeasy. And this is a great opening statement on this half from Elevate.
Hysterics is basically a null factor at this point for IG. Spotted out once again by that drone. Here comes the peak. No assault rifle, no worries for Napew. He can adapt and grab that LMG. How does Onigiri win that as well? Far out. It's all Hysterics, 1 HP. And a dream of the retake, of repeating the insane 1v4 clutch we saw from Speakeasy the other day. Not going to happen. Elevate come to life. They're on fire, and they take the lead.
I tell you what, if they can piece together more and more attacks like this, they're going to win this, Dev, because that was clean. Some of those peaks were just unreal, and it felt like IG just didn't stand a chance. They just got absolutely steamrolled over. Yeah, that's a scary prospect. I like this from IG, though. Don't do the repeat. That was just a complete outplay. Go to a different site, work on it later. I think that's a good call.
Yeah, look, I'm inclined to agree. That was just so good from Elevate. It feels like Invictus's bar defense, despite having a cool strat, you know, it's just not up to scruff with what Elevate are capable of. Let's see if reading in Fireplace bodes any better for IG. If I look at the stats from the other day, Invictus did exactly what happened right now. Like, they went up top, they lost the bar cocktail defense, and then they went to reading, and they actually lost that one as well. A little bit of a different situation, you know, different operator bans. The Valk was actually banned in that match, and Mira was in. We saw a lot of Mira from Invictus.
It's a bad omen. You know, competitors are superstitious people. Hopefully IG don't realize. But yeah, look, interesting that Valkyrie was banned last time. Also, just noticing that Napy's actually gone onto the IQ, so they're really not going to risk it in case Invictus are going to go for those Valkyrie plays themselves. You know, it really was a key factor in Elevate being so competitive in that first half.
And now Invictus are the ones that have to step up on their defense, but they're not bringing that Valkyrie at all. They're really relying on a lot of these, I don't know what the word is, like physical utility, right? Like, you know, you got castle barricades, you got Vulcan shields, We've got Banshees, all this stuff that Elevate are going to have to clear with their explosives. And looking at Elevate, there's actually not a lot of explosives, right? Like, you take those 2 Lifeline explosives from Zofia, and then you got the 3 Selmas. But we got, 3 Vulcan shields, 3 Banshees, 3 Castle Barricades. It's a lot to deal with here. Elevate might not necessarily have enough.
That's a good point. They are lacking in that a little bit, but there's a team that can handle those kinds of situations. Elevate is definitely one of them. Now, Luna is sitting in this tight prone position on the piano stage. If Asterix is good at shooting these drones before they get too deep, he may go completely unnoticed, and that would be very deadly to this attack.
Really good bait strat there from IG, but it's a big risk, and Elevate may well punish. Luna might actually be vulnerable. Oh, he sees it. Now Luna's trapped. He's going to go for the vault. He might find a kill. Just barely scrapes away with it. No way he gets away with his life here. No ammo in the gun, and he's going to get cleaned up by Sapper. That said, probably worth it for Luna. He took down Onigiri.
Yeah, took down Onigiri. He's been playing pretty well. Also the ace, so you already talked about the shortage of explosives that Elevate have to deal with this utility. Well, that's a hefty amount of them now gone. On top of the fact it's hard breach, not actually that critical for this site, but certainly a factor. And that's Joe finding the head of Angry X. So IG, this has been a really good defense for them so far. Got 55 seconds left to hold out.
APU's in a really aggressive position. Actually going vert grip, not angled here on the G8. Not something you see every day. There will not be a lot of recall for him to contend with there. Joe still in Cocktail does not bode well for Elevate. Really, really strong position you can do a lot from. That said, looks like Elevate are going to shape up for something a little bit unorthodox. They need to find a pick here at least to get back in it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going for this dining execute or not, but either way, they don't seem to have really given much of an indication. Joe's still on this top floor. This looks like it's going to be messy. They have 15 seconds. Elevate got to move.
But they find the opening. Oh, but Joe wins the timing there. Jordan can trade back Napew. And this should well be an Invictus round. Sapper doesn't have a lot going for him. Gonna have to cross desperately. Can't even find the pre-fire. And Hysteric shuts him down. Invictus do once again tie up this map. We are even here. You cannot split these teams round for round. No team has won 2 in a row.
Actually, Elevate has technically won 2 in a row.
Oh, damn.
They won round 6 and round 7. But if you separate
that would have been
halves,
so cool if I was like correct there. That would have been a cool thing to say.
It's basically correct. Look, if you separate the halves, they are literally just trading back and forth. And they are mirroring each other's halves so far. So, yeah, not far off.
Look, I appreciate the sympathy points there. Thank you. I really needed
You're
that.
welcome.
How are we feeling about this bar cocktail, Raven?
I mean, it was dominantly Elevate's last time. I think IG needs to think about this early phase. Now, I'm thinking that they're just going to do a very similar setup, and I don't know whether it's just about how they're going to play around it, but Elevate just did such a good job last time clearing it out and actually getting that opening pick onto Joe. And in particular, that was important because it was the smoke. And he had actually used all his smoke bays, so they weren't going to be effective late round anyway. But it can be so helpful at shutting out that final minute. So yeah, I'd be looking for IG to adapt here and maybe just change how this early round works out.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, look, I'm going to say it. This strat that IG keep running does not have a very good track record in the matches that I've watched. Not against Elevate. That said, we'll see if perhaps Invictus can dig their heels in. Elevate. The one thing that we have got to concede about Elevate is that they're not consistent. They have such a high cap, but sometimes these risks do come back to bite them.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Yeah, it is very true. I mean, we were definitely seeing that in the first half. They were trying a lot of risky C4s and spawn peaks. It was very hit and miss whether that really worked out for them or not, and you could even argue it might have cost them a couple of those rounds. Always hard to say. But yeah, looks like this has had a slight adjustment here in terms of the setup in Cigar, so that is good to see. Now, onus on Elevate. How do they adapt to clearing this out? Looks like there's going to be an engagement here in red. Doesn't work out. Joe tagged a little bit, but he can just smoke it out for the time being.
And he does back away. Shoot a drone as he goes. Mate, that's an Aruni gate you just threw that smoke into. Not only did you lose the smoke, but you lost the gate as well. Bit of a brain fart from Joe. Unfortunately, for Invictus, does give Elevate a little bit more ground.
To Hysterics again, just hanging out on the first floor. Now, he was very ineffective last time. And look at this, bit of a quick rotate. Elevate. I think they're shaping up for not a bar execute. I don't know, this is quite interesting. Looking to get Vert over on Cocktail, flush out this positioning. See whether this works out for them.
If they can find a pick through the Vert here, it could be big. Ooh, somehow that detonated the air jab through the floor, but didn't manage to ragdoll Jordan. Now Jordan's going to contest this, but he loses his life for that ambition. IG, though, once again, get aggressive on the back of that deficit. Hysterics traded back once again, leaving Elevate in the advantage. Oh, the timing.
Really good stuff. And yes, Luna with the timing. Made this a 3 versus 3. Now just under 40 seconds. Napew is going to catch Luna off guard at the top of white. Now, Speakeasy trying to contest this. They've got 2 to contest, in fact, Dev. 30 seconds, 2 versus 2. This is going to be a pretty intense finish.
Onigiri has the util to clear out these gates. Just on him and his teammate Sapper to hold on against these 2 players. Going to be very difficult to force this plant. They've surely got to go for kills. Sapper finds the first. It's all Speakeasy in the one-on-one. Sapper versus Speakeasy, and there's just no time for him to find it. Invictus narrowly win that round on the back of yet another clutch from Speakeasy.
Absolutely incredible. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of 6 bar cocktail defenses, that is 4 of them that have been clutches.
Wow.
Absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, Invictus managed to lock that one in. Now, that is them getting 2 rounds consecutively. That's the first time they've done that for this map. And we're getting to the business end of not just the map, but the series. Invictus now only 1 round away from being on match point, series point, Mexico major invite point.
Not something that Elevate can even consider entertaining the idea of at the moment. Put it out of their mind. We are going to see the desperation pick. Napew hasn't played a single operator for 2 rounds here on his attacking half. He went from Zove to IQ to Flores, and now the 6th pick onto our Thai sweetheart Finka. I know she's not actually Thai, she's Russian, but like she's just so in the Thai esports playstyle that I feel like she's an honorary Thai.
Yeah, totally. I definitely feel that sentiment. I'm looking forward to seeing this kitchen cooking defense from IG. It's the first time in the half that we're seeing it from them. Conversely, you know, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how Elevate approach this. They've had some really decent attacks throughout this entire half so far. All 3 certainly seemed like winnable rounds, but yeah, kitchen cooking, a bit of a different beast. Looks like there is going to be quite a roam that is going to be held by IG, so Elevate either going to have to look to hard flush that out or maybe think about something a little more creatively.
You know, the big danger that we're seeing from Invictus here that we haven't seen from them in the past is that Valk. It's Speakeasy, of course, on their Valkyrie. The information gathering is well, out in spades for Invictus. Not only have they got those 3 Black Eye cams, but they've got the Bulletproof from Hysterics, plus the 2 Evil Eyes from Joe on the Maestro. So there is just so much information here in Invictus's hands. Ready for them to make plays and really take the fight to Elevate. Elevate don't have the IQ that they brought previously. It's going to be a tough slog.
It is. Elevate wasting no time, though, going to work in Bakery. But likewise, Hysterics waste no time at all peeking onto Napew. That is the Finker going to be completely ineffective there, Dev. Sorry to say. And again, Hysterics finds Onigiri. Incredible stuff. That is 2 opening picks in that minute. That's a really great start here from Invictus. They could be moving to match point.
Oh, and it was all on the back of that cam as well. Speakeasy was just sitting on it and calling, saying, hey, Hysterics, they're coming to you. Here's delivered up on a silver platter. And Elevate have absolutely no idea.
Unreal again. Yeah, Valkyrie really opening it up for the defense. Info game too strong. Info game too strong. Speakeasy. He's found one. This is going to be tough for DCH and Sapper to try and salvage.
Almost a done deal now for this round. DCH doesn't reckon. There's a lot of time here, Raven. So, look, if they can find a couple picks, this might be possible. But still, like, there's just all that info, right, for Invictus. Even should they get onto site, there's Evil Eyes. See what Sapper can do with the F2 in his hands. You can see how passive Invictus are playing.
And they must have shot that Black Eye, though, because not seeing any teammates on cams at the moment for Hysterics. Sapper very aware, though, that Hysterics is on the red stairs. Looks like they are going to try and pinch from Coach Check.
It's still up.
Sapper is going to go back through Bakery. And actually, they didn't shoot the Valkyrie camera, so full info here, Dev. Final 30 seconds. Can Elevate potentially salvage this one?
Not looking possible when there is just so much going for Invictus. Should be an easy swing, and I'm going to say 4 out of 5 kills that round were on the back of that Valk cam. This is Invictus stepping up at the end of the road, putting us on match point, 1 round away from the Mexico Major.
Oh boy, the pressure again just suddenly rose to max for both teams here. This is by no means just an easy closeout for Invictus. On top of that, Elevate are going to use attack timeout. They are going to talk this one over and figure out what they need to do to push this to overtime.
What can they do? I mean, at the very least, they should have a pretty strong idea of what bomb site they're going against. Invictus has just won kitchen and bar in a row, which means that reading and, well, mining are the only sites open. Surely it's going to be reading here, as we can see. I'm sure Elevate can figure that out, and if they've got the composure, that's exactly what they will be talking about right now.
I wonder if they even realize, this is always the funny thing when you where teams don't find, you know, things like those black eye cameras, they may not even realize just how serious of an impact that Valkyrie just had. So I'm really curious. Now, it looks like IG aren't going to show it. I really thought Joe was going to stick that and actually show the Valkyrie. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets 6-picked on, but their current lineup also looks pretty fit for reading fireplace defense.
Well, this is exactly what they ran last, reading fireplace defense. If I was them, though, I'd be trading out one of these for that Valk. Just the amount that you can get out of that Valk. We are seeing the Mav 6-pick from Elevate, no Valk on the attacking side. Oh, defending side, rather.
Oh, I don't know. Just correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm having a bit of a brain fade here. What would really be the biggest value of Maverick here? Like, if you're going to hard breach something, it's generally that reading wall that goes to pillar, right? Like, that would generally be one of the main things you would hard breach on this side.
Yeah, look, the main thing I'm thinking of is the walls that I'm expecting that Jordan's about to reinforce. He's just put his mute jammer down up in freezer, and in a minute he'll be... No, he's not doing it, but oh well. The west walls of Backstore, right? You know, these they're about to get reinforced any second once IG eventually get around to it. There's a mute jammer there. Like, you probably want to be... I mean, the only reason there's a mute jammer there is because they're getting reinforced. Here we go. Come on. Thank you, Luna. Explain my point for me. So that mute jammer is very difficult to clear off, especially, you know, with that castle barricade. So I assume just like a little bit of a Maverick torch at the bottom, you shoot off the mute jammer, and then you can breach it.
Yeah, interesting. I'm a touch skeptical, but I'm so happy to be wrong. We'll wait and see whether this ends up being useful or not. The other interesting pick, of course, is going to be the Docker. We didn't really talk much about that one. But maybe just trying to assist on the roam clear, because IG have been just a little elusive with some of these setups.
I actually just realized, like, this is a massive change in operators. Like, Onigiri is no longer on the hard breach. He has been all game. Now he's on the Yana. Like, Sapper's taking the hard breach role instead of that Twitch and Buck. We have DCH now, as you mentioned on the Dockerbeat. Speakeasy is ready and waiting. Now, this TCSG's actually received a bit of a buff in the patch that came out, I think it was just last night. So, I wonder how much damage Speakeasy can really do with that.
Yeah. Well, that buff was a damage buff, so he certainly could do quite a big amount of damage. Haven't seen a whole lot happening in his first minute in terms of engagements. No. That C4 is... No, back into the ether. Not sure where that was really gonna... whether it was gonna get anywhere near a hit. No Elevate players nearby. Now, Napier has found his way all the way to Pillar.
This is actually pretty good progress now from Elevate. Oh, and that is a great drone. How on earth did Napier get that in there? Are they going to rush on the back of this? Surely. Here comes the nade. Oh, a bit overcooked there. Napier burns it. Let's see if the second one can maybe do it. He gets back on the cam. He knows there's a player right there. This should be a free kill on the back of it. Oh, that is perfect.
Yeah, that was beautifully done. And they are actually utilizing this Maverick here for this reading wall. Yeah. So very interesting. They're going to open it up with the Selmas as well. They used it to clear the new jammer. There you go. So that means IG, they're going to have to pull out of the site. Onigiri, he's found a great angle to speak easy. They are doing a really good job at just surgically removing IG from this defense, and they are under fire.
This has just got to be OT here for Elevate. Luna makes a big play, a huge gamble, but he gets that diffuser on the ground. It's all on him. Elevate, push for overtime.
Oof, 6-5. This is getting very tense. I mean, a lot of us predicted the overtime win, more so on the Elevate side. So look, definitely still alive here. Seeing the observer click a pause, I'm just going to say that's an Invictus tack. We just got confirmation. They're going to try and lock in this Mexico major right here, right now. They do not want a bar of overtime.
Well, they got one last chance, and that's just about it, Raven. I can feel this overtime incoming, though. Like, I don't know about you, but I just have a sinking feeling, something bubbling in the cauldron right in the dungeon. Elevate going to be attacking, reading once again. Curious from Invictus, right? Like, they could go bar cocktail this round. It's once again open. But instead, they're going to retry reading.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call. Bar Cocktail has been 50-50. You know, it wasn't like it was all G, you know? Like, they actually won Bar Cocktail in round 9. That was the third defense round. It ended up being a clutch. So it's not like that was that straightforward. So, I mean, maybe a good call to go for the repeat on reading, just because when they did win that one in round 8, that was a little more convincing. Yeah, look, this is very tense. Ooh. Very, very tense. And they're actually going to 6th onto the Kaid this time around.
You know what you can do with Kaid that you can't do with Mute is you can protect against exactly what Elevate did last round with the Mav.
Yep.
And that is opening up a little hole at the bottom and shooting the jammer up.
Cheeky little adaptations. So let's see what Elevate have in terms of adapting to that. Of course, they're not going to know immediately that Jordan has gone to the Kaid. And even then, Speakeasy may have the TCSG himself, so even if they hear the TCSG, they may just assume it's the Goyo.
Well, Speakeasy did have the TCSG last round, so you're right, like that very much could mask the presence of Kaid. But once DCH or whichever Elevate player does see some electrification, they're going to realize things are a tad more complicated than they were previously. Wait, was there one all the way downstairs? Oh, it's on the floor below. That is dirty. That basically means, it's like, I don't even know, where is that, in like reception or whiskey? Basically, yeah. That means that Invictus, like, Elevate can't like clear off that Kaid, right? Like, unless they drone below.
Yeah, they'll have to identify that it's below and figure out where it is, and that's going to be the only way they can really clear it off. Which, depending how efficient they are, might become too much of a too late deal. So anyway, looks like they are changing up their attack a little bit though. Pretty heavy kind of cocktail presence right now. Just depends whether that's where they continue to push or whether it's maybe just more direct to reading. Pretty spread out. No clear indication at this stage.
Ooh, surely they're going to drone it. Surely they're going to drone it. I think they just pinged it. This
Yep.
is so good. How does Elevate find this? Like, on the cuff, a beautiful and complicated adaptive strategy from Invictus and Elevate counter.
Yeah, it's really... I mean, it says so much about these teams and how this whole series has been, this entire stage between the two, constantly one-upping each other. Incredible stuff. Must have spotted the Kaid in prep phase. Elevate have certainly been really good with their drones so far. But, Dev, 90 seconds deep, halfway through the round, IG yet to really feel contested. Elevate have started to get a little bit of map control here through Piano. One player in Train as well. Oh no, it's actually just Gemini. And Onigiri has found the opening pick.
Good start for Elevate. They might have won the opening engagement and strategically countered that setup from IG, but there's another claw on that wall. Now here in Piano, Napier is starting to really put some pressure onto Freezer. Now there's no one actually playing that position anymore. He can nade it out.
Also an ADS top white, so even if he tries to get a nade through to Joe, pretty well protected. Joe pulling off just at the right time. Napier went for that peek. Getting very intense here, Dev. 40 seconds. Elevate do have the man advantage, but they are down around.
Oh, no.
Angry X has found another.
They have
30
sight.
seconds on the clock.
Could this be where Invictus go to the Mexico Major? Could this be match point? Or is it overtime for Elevate? 4v3 for the attack as the Thai team starts to step up, and Luna! He's managed to get upstairs. He's got that diffuser down. It's a 3-on-3. This could be the game-winning play for Invictus Gaming, and it's gonna happen. Luna Metal closes it. Invictus are your final APAC team to represent APAC at the Mexico Major.
Oh, what an incredible series. Bravo to Invictus. I tell you what, they have fought tooth and nail this entire stage. Not just the playoffs, the entire stage to even be here. And now they are going to that Mexico Major. Incredible feat. And of course, we have to applaud the efforts of Elevate. I tell you what, they have faced so much adversity coming through these playoffs. Today in particular has